And welcome back to Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. This is the late night style podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's website. Go there. This is episode 102. I have a monologue for you. Let's get into it. President Donald Trump attended the G7 summit where French President Emmanuel Macron was able to trick the American president into staying with a dinner at the gold-drenched Palace of Versailles, where Trump was caught on tape saying, "Oh, this is a little much. It's too gaudy for my taste." Prior to leaving for the summit, Trump held his much-reviled UFC fight night at the White House in celebration of both the 250th anniversary of the nation as well as his birthday, where he spent the first 30 minutes trying to blow out the candles on the cake in the middle of the octagon. Wait, hold on. I just had a hot dog earlier. It's so dry. The Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool is still green due to algae. This week, a maintenance crew was spotted trying to use hydrogen peroxide to clean things up. Now, there are patchy clear spots that resemble a true American icon. It's Trump's hand if you're listening to the audio. According to a survey, Target, Walmart, and Amazon are among brands losing LGBTQ consumer spending, LGBTQ plus, but it's only because they wouldn't be caught dead wearing that or shopping at those stores. And finally, a minor league baseball team canceled its Pride Night game after a majority of the players refused to wear rainbows on their sleeves, but it's only because the shirts came from Walmart and they wouldn't be caught dead wearing that. And that's all the jokes I have for you today. Welcome back in. I only had one restart this time, so it's much better. Much better than last week when it was 4. Welcome back in. Happy Juneteenth. I was going to write a joke about Obama's presidential library opening, but I couldn't find jokes about it. I couldn't find a good joke about it. Oh, he's a perfect guy, perfect man. Welcome back in. Everybody's going on break starting next week, so I'll be off. This show will be done for at least 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. I think a month, right? It'd probably be a month. Except for Fallon. Fallon is on next week, and I think it's because they took a week off when everybody else didn't, maybe 2 months ago or something like that, because of the basketball, something like that. I don't know. I remember. But I don't anticipate this show coming back until maybe July 10th. Yeah, I gotta be 1, 2. It's June now. I'm looking at the calendar, and I'm not going to show you my Google calendar. I don't want you to see all the bills I have to pay for. YouTube TV, Disney Bundle, Sirius XM, PlayStation Plus, Adobe, Google Fiber, ASPCA. And then I have some... I got to change the air filter purifier. This is how you know I'm running on fumes. I need this break. I need to stop producing 3 podcasts. But we're having a good time. We're having fun. I think the hardest part about Late Night Lately is knowing that I'm doing a year straight of yoga every single day. Minimum 20 minutes. I did because if I did 10 minutes, it would feel like nothing, you know? Not that I'm saying that 10 minutes of a workout doesn't mean anything, but because it takes me 10 minutes to warm up at the gym. It's very true. It takes me 15 minutes before leg day. And 10-ish before boxing. And then upper body is just 7 or 8. I'm just doing different things. It's like starting an engine cold. You know, when you're in the cold, your car, you don't just start it and go. You start it and then you let the car warm up a little bit. Just a little bit. That's me. I'm the car. I'm in the middle, and I'll get to Late Night Lately in a second. I'm in the middle of rewatching Cars. There's no rhyme or reason. I saw Toy Story 5 this morning, and I'll talk more about that on the Constitutionals next week. But I'm in the middle of rewatching Cars. I love the Cars franchise. I don't like 2 that much. I love Cars 1. You know, if you don't believe, what was it? Monday night, I was rewatching Cars. People are out on dates saying, I live next to a bar. I'm hearing people have fun, and I'm like, life is a highway. But we were watching Cars 1 on Monday, and then on today's Friday. So last night I started Cars 2 again, and you know I have a lot of issues with that movie, but a big part of that movie of Cars 2 is that lemon cars are they're being overlooked and all that stuff, and yeah, I think that's it. There's a good message there that just because Mater has dents, just because there are lemons doesn't mean that they're all not worth it. I have been spending both Cars 1 and Cars 2. Again, movies I've seen multiple times. Cars 1 I watched so much. I still have the original DVD for it. I also have the DVD for Incredibles. And Frozen 1 and Frozen 2. Well, we'll have those on Blu-ray. And then Wall-E, I have the Criterion version of that. And then every other Disney movie I own, because they have either they stop printing DVDs or there's a whole thing in the community, in the collection, in the DVD collection community. I'm not kidding. There's a whole thing on message boards and everything about Disney, whether they're going to quit printing stuff or not printing. It's a whole thing. Anyway, but every other Disney movie I think I have like 50 on digital, 53 on digital. I have all the Disney princesses digitally, as well as movies like Oliver and Company. Why should I worry? I love that. I love that movie so much. And it still works today. I think I also have the Aristocats. Okay, let's get back to it. This week in late night, Jimmy Fallon had the Knicks on, a lot of the Knicks. He had about so many appearances, and good for him. Then the Wu-Tang Clan performed a medley, and I'm sure that audience didn't understand anything that the Wu-Tang Clan was saying. It's a white audience. Most late night shows are. Also, what was interesting is today's Friday. Yes, yesterday I was watching the Obama's presidential library ceremony opening on CNN. And I'm surprised Mark Thompson let that happen. Go listen to LinkedIn Logs. I have issues with Warner, which is now Paramount owned, apparently. But it was a great ceremony, and it featured Common, Jennifer Hudson, Bono and the Edge from U2, Bruce Springsteen, Stevie Wonder, Christina Aguilera, and who else was there? Oh, and then the backing band for everybody was the Roots. And at one point, I started recognizing. I was like, "Wait a minute! I know that guitarist. Wait a minute! I know that pianist. Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Oh my gosh! I was so surprised. I went, "God, that's the Roots! This is the Roots!" I'm watching soccer and golf and that at the same time. And I was just freaking out. It was a good show. It was a really, really good show. But because of that was in Chicago. Because of that, the Tonight Show did not have a new episode. But it was a wonderful, wonderful thing. Anyway, he also had Jesse Eisenberg on, Maddie Matheson, Conor McGregor, Arlo Parks performed. John Cena was there. I really like John Cena. He's just such a good sport about everything. And they did some shtick or something. Olivia Cook, Lexi Mindtree, Kim Gordon performed, and that was excellent. And then Paul McCartney did a little bit. So there you go. On Late Night with Seth Meyers, he had a little bit of runoff from the Knicks. He had Carmelo Anthony, Anna Gasteyer, and then Karl Anthony Towns, and that audience was just ready for Karl Anthony Towns, who also brought his fiance. Stephen Root was there, Olivia Wilde, Ham El Wali performed making food. Let's see. Oh, OG Anunoby was there, Kerry Washington, Alden Einreich, and then Kumail Nanjiani. They had an Amazon groceries bit. And Caleb Heron, who was once asked to be on, no, twice asked to be on the Constitutional or the interviews, and said no both times. And it wasn't a cold ask. He was offered to me. Bruce Hornsby, Colin Farrell, Jessica Williams were all on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Linda Cardellini and Will Ferrell were on an episode as well. Science Bob, Walton Goggins, and Henry Lou Gates Jr. and Larry David were all there too. And Matt Damon showed up during the monologue of this most recent episode, the last episode this week. For The Daily Show, Jon Stewart talked to Senator Raphael Warnock. I wonder if Jon Stewart wore an upside down cross, because he's an atheist. He won't shut up about it. Then Jordan Klepper hosted the rest of the week. It's something it's so annoying. Britt Lauer was one of his guests. And then we had Desi Leidick talk to some Doged government workers, which I completely forgot about. My God, I forgot that was something. Ugh. And then Klepper went to the 250th in the UFC fight thing at the White House, and he talked to some of the dumbest men that have ever existed. He also spoke to John Early and Johnny Knoxville. It was a slow week, it seems. And then Triumph, the insult comment dog, went to the ticker tape parade for the Knicks. And then on last week tonight, John Oliver covered the UK and Makerfield election. And if you have not been following along with that, oh boy, Keir Starmer is in for it. Okay. The two stories I have for you today. This comes from Michael Schneider at Variety. Jelly Roll, Tiffany Haddish, Ike Barinholtz, Rosie O'Donnell, are all going to be the Jimmy Kimmel Live guest hosts. We are in the summer. Jimmy's been doing this for about 3 years now, I think, 3 or 4 years. And he is taking a break. Take a break. Yeah, he's done for Jimmy Kimmel Live for the summer, and he will be going on presumably his RV road trip with his family, while these guest hosts come in and do a show. Are they all successful? No, the Jelly Roll one is one I did not finish. In fact, I think last year it was Chris DiStefano and Jelly Roll in 1 week. Those likely aren't the only guest hosts. We also have Anthony Anderson. Yes, I was right. Anthony Anderson, Coleman Domingo. So those are 2 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like there's 6 guest hosts. And as you know, if you're a fan of late night, they are on and off periodically throughout the summer. So it is just up in the air. But July 6th is when this show returns. I always thought that if Kimmel left, Anthony Anderson, if ABC would want to continue doing a late night show, Anthony Anderson would be the front runner because he's been guest hosting a lot, and I think he's entertaining enough. Speaking of which, I'm watching The Shield when I'm cycling and when I'm running and when I'm rowing at home. I watch The Shield. I watch TV shows and movies that I barely want to pay attention to. But sometimes they're super good. Like Gotham was so good. Blind Spot was good enough to where I was like, hey, maybe I should just watch this. Like Gotham was so good that I watched it by itself. And I just knocked out that show immediately. And then I went to Blind Spot. It wasn't as good as Gotham, but I really liked it. Ashley, what's her face? Oh God, what is her name? Let's see. Blind Spot. Ashley Johnson. Video game star Ashley Johnson was in that show. I'd say the women did a really good job. Men were acting very, very hard on that show. And then after Blind Spot. I went to, is it South Side? I completely forgot what that shit. No, it was not South Side. What is Ben McKenzie cop show? What was that? I spelled McKenzie wrong. Southland. I watched Southland. And then after Southland, and I understand they're all cop shows. And then after Southland, I went into The Shield. Actually, after Southland, I took maybe like a 2-week break on TV shows and I watched a bunch of foreign movies. And now I do, and I'll get back to the show in a second. I'll get back to the show in a second. Now I do, on Saturdays, I'll watch long action foreign movies. I just finished Durandahar and Durandahar the Revenge over the past 2 Saturdays. Those are fantastic. Those were fantastic. Like just great Indian, Pakistani movies. I think they're Indian made. But it had a lot of it was Indian Pakistani because it's like based on true story. Anyway. Well, hold on. It takes true story elements. It is not based on a true story. And if it is, if that guy exists, oh man. And then last week I watched, what did I watch last week? Pathan. Yeah, that was great. That was a great, and those are all like 3 hours long and they were fantastic. Just to, put on and watch. And you may be wondering, how does he bike or run or row and watch those at the same time? Well, when Peloton when they start talking about things I don't want to hear about, I turn it down and I'll read the captions on the movie. It's the truth. Okay, let's get on with it. I like that Kimmel has guests. I think that if ABC did not let him do this, he would have been gone years ago. Carson had guest hosts all the time. And then that's how we got Joan Rivers. That's how we got Arsenio Hall. So and I think Kathy Griffin was a guest host too, for some shows. I don't know. I'm just making things up at this point. Oh, Kimmel started guest host during 2020, the summer 2020. I do like the guest hosts. I don't think that they need to get people like Jelly Roll. Also, I keep seeing he and his wife are getting a divorce, but they're still going to have a baby. Why do I know this? I understand I read a lot of news, but that's because it used to be my job. I don't want to hear about them. I don't care about these people. He cheats on her. She cheats on him. I don't care about that. That's none of my business. All right, let's move on. And finally, this comes from a Late Nighter written by Jed Rosenwig. I don't know if any of those words I just said are right. James Corden's Fox late night show return draws 418,000 viewers in its debut. All right, so here's what is this show called? It's called the FIFA World Cup on Fox After Hours with James Corden. That's full legal government name. And I spoke about it last week. I spoke about it the week prior. If you don't know what it is, it's a late night show covering the FIFA World Cup. It's brought to you by Fox. They brought James Corden back from the UK to host this show for 24 episodes or something like that. Something like digestible enough. The first couple of episodes were, it felt like they did not ever do tests of the show. And then I would probably say they found their stride this week. And it's a late night show in the style of FIFA coverage. And James is a real fan of the footy. And quite frankly, he's an entertainer and it's an entertaining show. 418,000 total viewers is good. It's good for a stunt miniseries like this. And they had 110,000 adults in the 18 to 49 demographic across its midnight hour on Fox. I think the show has a lot going for it in terms of James Corden, and it's also live, and the guests that they could have. If you watch the first episode and you watch the most recent episode, they realize that they need more people in the audience. The first episode had like 20, and then the subsequent episodes had like 50, and that's good because you have to bring the atmosphere in the show. Having guests and having entertaining athletes can only take you so far. If you're going to have some audience, have more audience. You know. Anyway. Apparently, Fox trailed the same hour competition in total viewers. ABC averaged 1.564 million viewers, NBC with 930,000, and CBS with 533. But remember, Comics Unleashed is a show that is leased to, or excuse me, CBS leases the hour to Byron Allen, who essentially sells the ads for that hour. So CBS is not losing a dime on if nobody watches it. Again, it's not the biggest show, but it works. I don't there are parts of the show I don't like. There are people on the show I don't like. But you know, you don't have to be negative. And it's just, if you don't like Corden, then you won't like this show. In the same way that if you've made a decision on Jimmy Fallon, you're never gonna like him. It's fine. Go, watch some other hosts where the audience claps too much. This is what I like about Seth. No one claps during it. Like you don't need applause breaks. Although he mentions the Knicks and people go ape shit. Are people? This is a question I have for people who live in New York and in Los Angeles. Do people that live there, and this is not about SNL. This is about late night shows. Do people that live there go to late night shows often? Like, is that something that people do? Like, I guess I'll go to Conan, or when Conan was on. I don't know why I chose Conan. Oh, because I saw Toy Story 5. He's basically the fifth star of that movie. Jesus Christ! I thought I was like, oh, he popped up. I thought it was gonna be like a little thing, but no, he's act 2 through 3. He's all the way up until the credits. Before the climax, at the climax, after the climax. And at some point, I was like, okay, we have enough Conan. Let's get back to the other characters that we miss. And they did not. That is a sneak peek of my enjoyment of or the thing that I disliked most about Toy Story 5. Was not the characters that you know and love from 1, 2, and 3. Not a lot of lines. Anyway, but are people just like, I'm gonna go see? Let's go watch Jimmy Kimmel. You're gonna drive down by because it's Los Angeles. You're gonna drive down by the Chinese theater, smell the piss all up and down that street, and just like try to get tickets for Jimmy Kimmel Live, or go online and get the tickets. Whatever, who cares? It made sense with Colbert because the audience is so big, but Kimmel and Seth Meyers and I think the Tonight Show has a sizable audience in studio audience, but they don't have a big audience. It's like 200 people or so. I know if there was a late night show here, I would not go. I would go once and be like, I'm done. I went to the Daily Show when Trevor Noah was still hosting. He came to Atlanta, and that was a cool opportunity. But I wouldn't. If I lived in New York, that it could be something to do to show friends and family, but it's not necessarily the thing I would be like. It's your first time in New York? Let's go to the Daily Show. I got tickets. I got you tickets to Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Now maybe if it's the Christmas episodes for Tonight Show, I'd be like, yeah, give me some free shit. All right, I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people sometimes. You can also, I forgot what I say. I can't wait to not do this show for 2 or 3 weeks. You can also watch video versions of those interviews under the interviews on youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can also see video versions of the podcasts, this podcast, the other podcasts, LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs and Business News podcast, as well as the Constitutionals, the Entertainment Business News Show. Follow us on social media. Subscribe to those podcasts wherever you get podcasts. Follow us on social media at C+comedy on Blue Sky, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Me on those platforms at Chad Blackwhite. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Bye.